everyone, welcome to a CANrace Q&A special. I'm your host, Bryce Turner. Coming up, question and answer with some of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series drivers from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. But first, an update. Erik Jones won the Trucks race while Jason Hathaway won the Canadian Tire Series event. Here's a couple of clips from CANrace's post-coverage.
Well, it's just a great day for everybody at KBM and myself, and just being able to get on win on a road course is a great accomplishment for our entire organization. But for myself, I'm excited as well. This is only my second road course race. I really like this track. It was a great race. It was fun racing with Tagliani there for a while at the end, and just a cool day overall. Not one I'll ever forget. It's just so cool to get a win on a road course, so kind of out of my natural habitat and something so different.
It's pretty cool, pretty special. It's, I live in Uxbridge. It's only 40 minutes from here, so I got lots of friends, lots of family here this weekend. So got all the kids up on the podium. They think that's pretty cool when Dad gets up there. So that's pretty special for a father. But it's good. I can honestly say I don't think I was ever gonna win a road race. I've had podiums and seconds and thirds and things like that and top fives, but to win one of these things with the talent, the road race talent that's here, it's very, very tough. So I know there's lots of guys that have been doing this as long as me and haven't won, so it's pretty cool if you just put yourself in position and work hard, and like our team does, and you never know what happens.
Watch the full post-race now on my YouTube channel. Meanwhile, there's a big race for NCATs later this month. It's the championship finale for the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series, and CANrace has you covered. Who will win the 2015 title? Will it be Scott Steckley, Jason Hathaway, or Andrew Ranger? LP Dumoulin will also have a chance mathematically if the field is large enough. Watch a practice and qualifying update and post-race from Kawartha, September 19th on CANrace. Now without further ado, here's Q&A. What was the first street car you had?
First street car, 95 Honda Civic. That's a good question. I had a Bronco, a 94 Eddie Bauer edition. So yeah, it's green. It was fun. It was a good truck to have when you're 15, 16.
Right now I drive a 95 S10, so that's my first one.
First street car, gosh, I've had a bunch. I'm trying to think. I think I had a Suburban, kind of like a SUV sort of. So black SUV is nice.
It was a Trans Am that my dad had bought for my mom when I was in kindergarten. And at some point I asked if they would save it for me, and when I turned 16, I got to drive it. And I still have it today, and it's at our race shop actually, hoping to get restored.
What was the first stock car you raced and when?
Stock car, race car period, man, go-kart. I was 5 years old. The first stock car I ever raced was a Mini Cup in Florida, and I ended up wrecking, so it wasn't the best showing, but it was fun. I had a great time, and I got hooked on it as soon as I got behind the wheel, so it was a good time.
I raced a late model in Irwindale, I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
First stock car I raced, I grew up racing quarter midgets, little go-karts. And then I moved to the Pro Truck Series down in Florida, did that for a little bit. But my first true stock car was probably late models, limited late models, and then I moved up to the super late models. But pretty much 650 horsepower race cars. They don't weigh a whole lot, so they're a lot lighter than these trucks, about half the weight of these trucks, so they're fast.
1991, and it was a Mustang in a 4-cylinder pony stock class. And so I ran that class for about 5 years, and we won a lot of races, and then moved up to the next division and won a lot of races there, and then moved up to the next division, and didn't really stick with the top late model division long enough. I moved on and started racing ARCA and nationwide trucks. That was in Kansas City, and I had 2 home tracks, Lakeside Speedway, which was an asphalt track, now it's a dirt track, and then I-70 Speedway, which was a high-banked asphalt track, and it doesn't exist anymore.
What is a highlight of your career thus far?
For me, I'd say probably, it's tough, there's a couple of them, but probably getting the first truck win at Phoenix was a big one for me back in 2013, and just that first NASCAR win for any driver is a big moment, but it was pretty special for me. We only ran 5 races all year, and it kind of jump-started me into 2014 and now into 2015, so it was a pretty fun year and just a pretty exciting day.
Probably we won in New Hampshire last year, and that made me the youngest winner. So that was probably the best accomplishment I've had so far in racing.
Just winning. You know, we've been able to go to victory lane 8 times, and winning never gets old. And this series is so competitive. You know, you cherish every victory lane moment that you have because you never know when the next one's coming.
Definitely winning the Truck Series Championship in 2003. Had a lot of fun along the way. I've been in the sport a long time, and being a champion of a series is the pinnacle. You know, it was a long time ago. It was 2003, but still a lot of good memories. And you know, I've had several race wins and you know, some success in the Cup Series, but definitely the Truck Series Championship is the best thing I've ever accomplished and I'm most proud of.
Thanks for watching the CANrace Q&A special. Check back next Saturday for part 2 here on my YouTube channel.